everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
These new age luxury hairstylists need to be stopped, because imagine paying $1,000 for your hair just for your hairstylist to be holding the content that she took of you hostage. This is why I would never recommend this stylist to anyone. Let's rewind to a month ago, March 20th to be exact. I am scrolling on my For You page on TikTok and I see a hair video come up. It's a stylist who is located in Vegas, and I never see good Vegas hairstylists. They're always either in the Bay Area, in Houston or Dallas, but never in Vegas. And I loved her work. So I click over to her page and I'm scrolling through her videos. I'm like, wow, look at the layers, look at the bounce, look at the fullness. I was just obsessed. I was like, wow, I have to book with her. So I go to the link in her bio and I'm looking at all of her services and her rules and regulations. I'm reading everything carefully just so I don't miss anything. I can see that she has a bunch of different packages, but for the most part, all she does is quick weaves and sew-ins. So this is something that she does regularly. So I feel more comfortable because this seems to be her specialty. So I scroll down and I see that she has a new client sew-in, and this sew-in service includes a shampoo, braiding down your hair, of course, sewing in the bundles, cutting and styling. And I'm like, perfect. I hadn't gotten a sew-in in over a year before I got this done. So it's been a long time coming, and I used to love getting sew-ins all the time. It was just really hard to find a reliable stylist in Vegas. Either way, I'm super excited. I read in her policies that you have to order her own bundles if you want to do this bundle deal or this like sew-in special that she has, right? She sells her own hair, which is fine. Lots of stylists do that. So the way that the pricing is done is if you order her bundles, then the sew-in costs $300. And I'm being specific about the price point because I think it adds to the reason I'm so bothered by the way that this all went down. So walk with me, okay? If you want her to install bundles that are not yours, it's like $400 or $450, something like that. I can't remember. So I'm thinking, well, I need to purchase bundles anyway. That's fine. I'll just purchase her bundles and then I'll do the sew-in for $300. And I'm really fixated on this one specific video that she had posted of a girl with a similar complexion to me, and she had brown hair, and I was like, wow, that color is so beautiful. Mind you guys, I've never had color in my hair outside of the braids I got a couple of months ago, but that didn't really feel, you know, like my own hair because they were braids. If I'm gonna get a nice luxury sew-in from this stylist who seems to have a lot of experience and does amazing work, why not go ahead and try out color on my bundles for the first time? So I go ahead and I add on custom color, and the custom color edition is another $150. Again, I have never gotten color before. I don't know the context. Is that high? Is that low? I have no clue. But the price is the price. And at the end of the day, I really want this one specific look. So if you're keeping up with me, this is a $450 service, excluding the bundles. I go ahead and I book with her for the actual service for April 22nd, 1:30 p.m. It's the afternoon. I know I'll have enough time to prep my hair and do what I need to do, take down whatever style I have before I go ahead in for my appointment. I go through the rest of the booking and pay a $50 deposit. And on that confirmation page, it also says that if you're going to do the $300 sew-in, that within 24 hours, you need to go ahead and purchase the bundles from her website. I want to follow the rules. I don't want to agitate anyone. I respect the parameters. I go to her website, but then I realize I don't know what texture was used in the video that I saw. So I go back to the video. I'm looking in the caption. I'm looking in the comments to see if she has answered it already, but she hadn't. So I go ahead and I send her a text message, and I know that this was late at night because I, just had free time. My son was in bed. That's when I had the time to actually look and book this appointment. I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. I say, hi, apologies for the late message. Definitely don't expect a response at this hour. Just sending now so I don't forget. I just booked an appointment for April 22nd at 1:30 p.m. I'd like this install from your page, except potentially with a middle part, and was wondering which texture and lengths were used to achieve this look. I know I have to place the order in 24 hours on your site, so just wanted to confirm before doing so. Thanks so much. And I had sent this on a Friday night at 11:15 p.m. or 11:13. I understand. I'm sending this message late. That's why I put the disclaimer like, hey, I'm not expecting a response back right this second. I don't hear from her for 2 days, which is fine. It's a weekend. I get it. She sends me a message on Sunday and it says, hi, love. Sorry, I cannot see the link. Can you resend it? I say, absolutely. It's this one. I try sending it again, but for some reason, she's not able to view it. So I say, dang, I don't know why it's not working. Let me take a screenshot. So I take a screenshot and I show her what the hair actually looks like. So then she says, I see it. ST Mink Brazilian 4-bundle deal, 22 inches or 24 inches. And then I say, great, which texture? Because she did say ST, and in my brain, maybe that's straight, but let me just confirm. She says, for the color, we can add on custom color. And then I said, yes, I added when I booked with a smiley face. Is ST straight? She says, yes. Perfect. Please order it. Bundles here. And then she puts her website. And then I say, okay, will do. I have 4C hair. Do you think it would make sense to get a curly texture and have it pressed out for a better match? She says, get loose wave texture. I say, perfect, ready to check out now. Should I be having it shipped to you or place the order for pickup since it'll be colored? Obviously, if it comes to me, then I'd have to take her the bundles for her to color them, and it would just create more work. She says, yes, select pickup. I say, perfect, just place the order. Thank you so much. Okay. This is back on March 20th. So I don't hear anything else from her because there's nothing else to say. I feel like I'm all set for my appointment. I'm excited about it. I even talked about going to this appointment on my live streams, on some of my videos. Like I was super hyped to go and get this sew-in done. So fast forward to the day. Now it's April 22nd. I had some things to get done in the morning. Right around 11:30 is when I decide I'm going to go ahead and take my braids down so that, my hair can be ready to go when I get there for my shampoo. I literally have started taking down the first braid. First braid is out. I'm on my second braid and I get the dreaded hey boo text. But instead of hey boo, she says hey love. And I'm like, oh no, nothing nothing good can come from this. So she says, hey love, I'm running behind. Can you be here at 2:30? I say, hi, yes, I'll be there at 2:30. She pushed me back an hour, but she did let me know 2 hours ahead of time. So I was still at home. I mean, a little annoying because I wanted to be done with my appointment before it got dark. I just have weird feelings about being in a salon suite once it gets dark because I had a weird experience before and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. You know, it's a lot of rooms. You don't know who's in the building. It's dark. I'm with a stranger that I don't know. It just makes me feel uneasy. So that's why I had booked the 1:30 because I'm thinking on the website, it says 3 hours to complete this style. I'll be done by 4:30. It's Vegas. It doesn't get dark here until like 6:30. I'm going to finish. I'm going to record some content. My day will be amazing. Now, the dilemma that I'm having is now that I have more time, does it make sense for me to shampoo my own hair? Because we lost an hour and I still want to make sure that I'm done with enough time to still record what I need to record. I'm debating. I'm going back and forth because I am technically paying her for this shampoo. It's part of the experience and part of the amount that I'm paying. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that my scalp was super, super clean. And I've been to stylists before who do not get to the scalp. They don't get the grime off of your scalp and your hair is essentially still dirty, or maybe not your hair, but more so your scalp is still dirty. Your hair is not going to come out well if you're not working off of clean hair and a clean scalp. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and wash it myself. That way we can save time. And then on top of that, I'll be sure that my scalp is fully clean. I clarify my hair 3 times. I deep condition and then I go ahead and put a t-shirt over my head. I'll have her blow dry just in case the stretching of the hair is like part of the outcome of the style. Let me just like let her do her thing. But at least I'm already coming clean. I feel like I'm making great time. My plan was to leave an hour before the appointment. So that would be 12:30. But since she puts me back to 2:30, now it's 1:30 that I need to leave. Her salon is about 32 minutes away from where I live. So I'm thinking just in case there's traffic or an accident or something, let me make sure that I'm giving myself enough time to get there and park and not feel like I'm being rushed. On top of that, I wanted to vlog it, you know, come with me to get my hair done. I'm literally on my way and it is 1:50 and I get another text message. Actually, please be here 3:30. Not, hey, I'm sorry, I'm still running late. Do you think you can come a bit later? Hi, just letting you know I'm not going to be done on time. Is it possible for you to come later? Do you need to reschedule? Can you still make it work? No, just telling me come at 3:30. I'm like, hi, I'm already on my way. Is there a place I can wait? You guys, she never texted me back. So after a couple of minutes of her not responding, I'm like, let me go back home because my hair looks crazy. I can't go and just lollygag for an extra hour because I look crazy. So let me just go back home. I turn around, I drive back home. The reason that I felt like I could not decide to not go is because she has the bundles. For the 4 bundle deal for the lengths that I got, which I believe was 24 inches, was $660 or something like that, just shy of $700. So she has these bundles with her and she has my deposit. Had it only been a deposit, honestly, I might have just been like, you know what? No, like this is annoying. I do not feel like going back and forth with anyone. That's just not my style. I don't want to have to argue with her about the bundles and when I can pick them up. I didn't want any drama. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I come back home. I end up leaving out again right around 2:45. I'm driving. I'm on the way. I'm on the phone with the guy that I'm talking.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video, back in the confessional. And yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Hey, man, listen, okay. At this point, we over $750 in. I would imagine the deposit would be around 50 to $100, right? Right. If she pays 660 for the bundles now, yo, 4 bundles, 600. I'm definitely in the wrong business, okay? Now, you've delayed me. You let me know 2 hours ahead of time the first time. 1 hour. Then you call me when I'm leaving, which is an hour away, to be there an hour later. Okay. So now you've delayed me 2 hours, right? And now I don't have the option because I'm already $750 in. See, professionalism. I understand that you have a business, things may come up. You may have a situational customer, like when something happens, or you might have spilled color all over the floor or something. Okay. Things happen, and I get it. But there's a way to communicate, and that actually come at 3:30. That was not the way to communicate. Also, the amount of money that I'm already in. I'm not saying, give me a free dude, but like, I'm not even saying take money off of it, but yeah, you got to do something. You gotta make something shake. But well, it's the only thing you can do is take money off. The only thing, because you're playing with my time. Honestly, you're playing with my time. When you mess up my time or your time, my time is valuable just as well as yours. You don't know what I had to do. I booked the appointment at a time for a reason. And I get it. Sometimes when you book these appointments, you gotta give grace periods so you're not booked in between too many things and not make it to whatever you have to get to on time. But still, you as a business owner shouldn't overbook. So I don't know what the situation is. Maybe we're gonna get to that. But I'm telling you, right there, because she's so invested into your business, her time should be valuable to you. So putting her off like that is totally wrong on the business owner's part. And it should be compensated somehow, of some free drinks, something. Okay, don't come in there, get me drunk or something. Like, damn.
To, and I'm like, yeah, it's so annoying that she pushed me back 2 times, but I'm gonna try to have a positive attitude and just make the most out of it. Now, am I gonna have to deal with some BS along the way? Probably. I'm not gonna lie. I did get a bad feeling that something was gonna go horribly wrong during this appointment, and I wasn't wrong because my intuition never lies. Big Leo energy. I should have just been more mentally prepared because my gut was telling me something was off. So remember how I said she never texted me back? At 3:29, mind you, she pushed me to 3:30. 3:29, she sends me a message and she says, yes, I'm ready. Are you here? Sorry, just seen it. You're lying. You're lying. I'm sorry, you're lying. There's no way you did not see the text for an entire hour and a half. You did not look at your phone one time for an hour and a half. Be for real. You're a business owner. There's no way on earth. And this was actually confirmed because when I went in, she was actively checking her phone. So you definitely saw it. You just didn't feel like you owed it to me to respond to me, which is crazy work. I'm your client and I'm asking you a question. Hey, is there a place for me to sit? Because I'm already on my way to your establishment and you have already inconvenienced me 2 times now, but I'm being unreasonable for asking, hey, is there a place that I can sit? It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that. You should have, I mean, if she would have responded, hey, come in, we got a TV, drinks, okay, wine, something, you talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
And it's terrible communication. Having good communication is part of being professional and doing your job well. And on top of that, there's a way that you speak to someone. It's called respect. Simple respect, right? So in my head, when she said, oh, I just seen it, you're lying and it's annoying, like you're insulting my intelligence. So anyway, I say yes to answer her question about, are you here? So I go to the door. I'm waiting for like 3 minutes. She comes to the door and she says, hey, how are you doing? And I say, hey, I'm fine. How are you? Am I my bubbliest? Am I my perkiest? No, I'm annoyed. But I will be honest and say that I was not rude to her. I responded back to her. I didn't come in with an attitude. I just wasn't my full bubbly self. We get into her salon suite, very pretty in there. And I even told her that I was like, oh, I love your paint in here. She asked me how I'm doing again. I don't know if she was just trying to like break the ice or create some small talk or something. And I was like, oh, I'm good. How are you? Because you already asked me that, but whatever. Let's keep on going. So as she's taking the t-shirt off of my head, I say, I already washed in deep condition. So maybe we can speed this up. And I don't care if it came off a little bit shady. That's one less thing that you have to do that I am already paying for. She says, oh, okay. You've made me feel off put. Now everybody feels off put. All right. She gets to blow drying my hair. Now, question for the class. If you are blow drying kinky curly hair, I have 4C hair. What do you use to blow dry your hair? Basically what she is doing is she has the blow dryer in one hand and she's combing out my hair with her other hand, but she's aggressively pulling it. And you guys, I am not tender-headed. I never have been tender-headed. I grew up getting box braids in my hair. I know how to withstand a little bit of pain to my scalp, girl. But she is literally like pulling out my hair. I hear it and I feel it being ripped out of my head. So my question is, as a hairstylist who is charging a premium price, why are you not using the tools that are at your disposal to properly blow dry my hair? Instead, you are choosing to yank out my hair with your hands and blow dry so aggressively. Like, it made no sense. The plot thickens. It gets worse. What is the only worst thing that you can use to blow dry your hair besides pulling it out with your hands? This girl grabs a rat tail comb. A rat tail comb, the smallest comb that you can get. And she is combing from the root of my head to the tips of my hair. Why are you combing from the root? Did we not all learn this at like 6 years old? If you're going to comb your hair, that you do it from the tip up to the root so that you don't pull out your hair, so that you're gentle. It was honestly mind-blowing to me that this was her method of blow drying. This was the absolute worst blow dry I've ever had in my entire life. So she finally finishes the blow dry and it's time to move on to the braid down. She is braiding my hair, and for anyone who has ever had their hair braided before, you know that as you're braiding the hair, you kind of have to pull the strands through so that you don't create another braid or a knot at the bottom. But she is creating knots and actively just pulling out the knots and then flicks it on the floor. I know for a fact I'm losing hair as she's doing all of this because she's not being gentle. What it feels like is that she's rushing because she started 2 hours behind schedule. Granted, Granted, I don't know the context of why she was pushed back. Did she have a problematic client? Did she have a late start to her morning? I have no clue. But honestly, it's not my problem. All I know from my perspective is that you have pushed me back. So how's it fair to me that now you're rushing through my appointment because you were running late? We're not running late because of me. We're running late because of you. Anyway, she finishes the braid. She puts some oil on my scalp. She puts a net. She asks me to hold the sides of the net while she sews it down. She does all of that. Okay. Now it's time to move on to the bundles. And because in my brain, I'm thinking this is going to be a vlog, I'm like, let me get a couple of little clips. So I'm like, can I see the bundles? That way I can go ahead and take a little bit of a video of it. What I didn't say before is that as we're going through the appointment, she did try to strike up conversation with me a couple of times. She had asked me whether or not I was doing YouTube because I guess she was looking over my shoulder at my phone, which is very intrusive. Like, I get it. You're working above me, so you might glance down and see something, but it just made me feel uncomfortable. She was like, oh, is that YouTube? And I was like, oh yeah, it is YouTube. I do a little bit of YouTube on the side or whatever. And then another time I was commenting back to some comments on one of my other videos, and she was like, oh, that's your TikTok? And I was like, yeah, that's my TikTok. That's how she knew that I was doing a little bit of content. And I did tell her like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a vlog or something. So I'm recording the bundles and I'm like, are these the colored ones? And you guys, she looks at me and she says, you got color? Saxophones are getting louder. I'm like, yes. This was supposed to be custom color on the bundles. And she's like, hold on, let me check. So she gets on her phone and she's clicking through and she's like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be color. First of all, I wasn't lying. Why would I make that up? I know what I booked. And so she's like, oh, I can still color them. And I'm just like, well, how long is that going to take? And she's like, oh, 30, maybe 45 minutes. Like, it's not going to be that long. In my head, I'm like, an extra 30 to 45 on an already 2-hour delayed appointment is not nothing. Like, now we're dragging it. And I'm like, okay. So she gets on the phone. She's like, hold on, let me call my assistant. All right, girl. She gets on the phone and she's telling whoever like, oh, it's in the garage on the white shelf or whatever. It's out of my control at this point. And I really just had this image of how I wanted my hair to look. I have a trip coming up to Japan, a solo trip, and I wanted my hair to look a certain way. We wait a good maybe 20 minutes or so for somebody to bring the color. But now she has to do the whole process. I am not a hairstylist. I don't know a lot about dyeing hair, but I know that it's not something that takes 5 minutes, right? So I know that she's going to have to apply the color. It's going to have to sit. She's going to have to wash it out, right? This is a multi-step process, which is why it should have been done and ready for when I got there. So she's prepping the hair for the color. And as she's doing that, she says, I can give you $25 off for pushing you back and for the color. America, $25 off of over $1,000 that I'm spending with you between the bundles and the service, $25 off. Am I tripping or is that nothing? Am I being unreasonable? Am I being entitled? Keep in mind, she also has never apologized. And I know that that might sound petty, but it's just a...
Okay, at this point, we are now close to a 3-hour delay. You have, well, no, she let her know 2 hours before that she was pushing it back an hour. Then an hour after that, she pushed it back another hour. Now we have to wait, or is the hair, the weave will take 45 minutes to color, but that's not even including how long it took for the color to get there, because she said it's in the garage. That means it's at somebody's house or it's at somewhere else. So more time wasted. Look, let me get you $25 off. That ain't even 10%. That ain't even 5%. 5% is $50. That's 2.5%. Let me give you 2.5% off. That ain't even a 3% cash back that your credit cards will give you. And your credit cards charge you interest, goofy. Look.
Human decency thing. It's not just what you say, it's the way that you say it. And it just was giving like, here, damn. I'm over here like, girl, you know $25 is nothing to you and it is nothing to me. So let's not make it seem like that makes up for any of the BS that has gone on during this appointment. And you guys have to keep in mind that this entire time, I'm pretty much acting under duress. I need my hair to be done. I don't want her to play in my head. If I'm going back and forth with her, like, no, you need to give me 100 off. No, you need to give me this off or that off. I don't want her to not do a good job on my hair. At this point, all I want is for my hair to be done and for me to get up out of there. I don't argue with her. I'm just like, all right, I appreciate it. She colors the hair. Now we have to sit and wait for an hour for the hair to process or to take or whatever. I don't know the right verbiage for that. We're sitting, I'm on my phone, I'm editing. She's doing whatever she's doing. It's awkward. It's quiet. I mean, just uncomfy. Literally, you guys, you know that song? I think I'm gonna die in this house. That's how I feel. Like, damn, am I ever gonna be out of here? Finally, it's done. And she is able to go and rinse it out, wash it out. The bundles are ready to go in my head. She starts to sew the bundles in my head. She did poke me a couple times. I didn't make it a big deal because that happens. You know, I'm not expecting for her to be perfect. I don't think it's intentional, but at the same time, it's like at this price point, like why am I being poked? Eventually she finishes sewing and now she has to take care of my leave out. Now, I had watched a lot of videos on her page, so I know the way that she does her leave out, which is the way that I prefer. You add some kind of like a mousse or a setting lotion to the hair, and then you kind of like wrap it with a net or something, and then you sit under the dryer. So it helps it keep its shape and it doesn't frizz up and lift as much. That is what I'm expecting that she's going to do, because every single sew-in that I've seen on her page, that is how she does the leave out. But then she's like, hold on, let me go check something. She leaves, she comes back, and I don't know if maybe they only have 1 or 2 hooded dryers and someone was using it. I don't know what happened, so I will be honest about that. But she comes back, she puts whatever the setting lotion is on my hair, and then she grabs the blow dryer and then she's blow drying my hair. So I'm thinking, oh, so I'm not gonna go sit under the dryer. I don't even bring it up at this point because I just want to get out of there. I can tell the difference. My hair is not as silky as it would have been had she used that method, because I've done that method before, and that is the best way to get the hair to lay, you know, and really blend in with the bundle. So I'm like, okay, whatever. She finishes doing that and she asks me what size curls I want. I'm like, oh, I want a lot of layers and I want big curls. We give credit where credit is due. We're never gonna exaggerate over here. I'm telling it exactly as it was. Did she do a good cut? She did. She put a lot of layers in the hair. She was doing her big one with the scissors. I was like, cool, this is what I paid for, the expertise. But the service is just trash. It really feels like she's trying to get it to look good, but that's part of the problem. If all you care about is the way that the hair looks, but not the damage that you're doing to the hair or the health of the hair, then I'm not gonna have any hair left, you know, if I keep coming to you. So in order to blend my real hair further with a bundle, she uses a hot comb. And I'm sorry, she needs to practice more with a hot comb. She burned me multiple times with this hot comb. And if anyone has ever experienced getting your hair pressed out or silk pressed or flat ironed or whatever, and somebody uses a hot comb for your roots, if they burned you once, you're gonna be like cringing every time they go close to your scalp because you know what it feels like to be burned. She does that a couple of times. She does apologize once or twice when she did it. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, because what else can I say? You know what I mean? Thank God she's finally done with the hot comb, and she goes in with the curling iron. She does a curl and then she pin curls it. She does a curl, she pins it, and she does my whole head. She sprays it, does her thing, takes the pin curls down. The curls look pretty. I do think that the color looks good. It's what I wanted. So I'm not going to say that the quality of her work is the problem. It's everything surrounding it. Now, one important thing that I didn't mention is that in the confirmation email that I got the day before my appointment, because for some reason stylists these days can never let you know their location until the day of or the day before, which is so silly in my mind. In that email, it says, come camera ready. So not only am I paying you a premium price for the services that I'm getting, but you also are expecting that I'm going to come with makeup on and ready to pose, which is a diabolical ask when you are being paid for a service. You're not paying me to be featured in your content. You're not giving me a discount for being in your content, even though that same content is going to be what brings you in new clients. You shouldn't feel forced or pressured into being in somebody's content. I already was going to come ready for content because I was going to record my own content. I'm making my vlog. That's where my mind is at. So I'm like, okay, let me look cute. I'm just making a case for the fact that not everybody wants to be on camera, and you as a stylist cannot put that expectation on your clients. But either way, because I know she's recording, I'm like, hey, can you send me the clips that you get so that I can use it for, you know, my stuff? And she was like, you want me to send you all the clips? And I was like, yeah, it's just, you know, like B-roll. I can put it in my vlog. And she's like, okay, yeah, I can send them to you. I had brought this up at least 2 times prior to the end of the appointment. The end of the appointment comes, I'm ready to pay her and get out of there. I was itching to leave. And she's like, oh, do you have cash? And I was like, no, I have a card. And she was like, oh, okay, I was just asking. And I was like, wait, why? And she's like, well, if you pay with Apple Pay or Cashapp, it's an extra 10% processing fee. And here is where I can take accountability, you guys, because I'm never going to just tell you one side of the story. I'm going to tell you my part in it too. On her booking site, it does say that if you don't bring cash, you'll have to pay 10% to pay with Apple Pay or Cashapp. I'm not going to argue with you on that because it's on your booking site. And by booking with you, I have accepted the terms and conditions, right? That was my fault for overlooking that and not coming with the cash. But at the same time, in what universe is there a 10% processing fee for any institution? I don't know about you guys, but the highest I've ever seen for a credit card processing fee is 5%. But what I see more often than not is 2.5 to 3%. 10% is crazy. You're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to charge whatever you want, but that's really just taking advantage of people. Mind you, it was $450, $300 for the sew-in, $150 for the color. I paid the $50 deposit, so now we're at $400, and she gave me that week $25 discount, so now I'm at $375. But with the 10% fees, it came out to like $415 or something. Do you know that this girl has the nerve to turn the phone around for a tip? Which is so insane, because if you know me in real life, you know that it is not uncommon for me to leave a 50% tip for a beauty service, a 75% tip for a beauty service, double up on the payment for a beauty service. I love to give a good tip, especially if it's a Black woman. This is the first time I have not tipped a beauty provider in my entire life. I'm talking about in college when the funds were limited, I would still tip people. You know how bad it has to be for me to not give you a tip? Girl, the way I click no tip, because are you insane? And actually the irony of it all is that it got declined the first time because Chase thought it was fraud. God. Even the bank thought you were scamming, girl. And as I'm doing this, I remind her again, hey, can you airdrop me those videos? She's like, yeah, I'll do it. We finish everything. I'm ready to go. Okay, I grab my purse. I say thank you. She walks me to the door. She says bye. I say bye. I get to the car and I realize that she still hasn't sent me the videos. And so I send her a text and I'm like, hey, can you send me those videos, please? This was yesterday. Ask me if she has texted me back. Crickets. So you're gatekeeping the content that you took of me. Mind you guys, it wasn't just like a picture here, a picture there. No, full videos with the light directly pointed towards me. Like, you took actual legitimate content of me and you don't want to send me the content of me. What, because I didn't give you a tip? Like, what's tea? What's the problem? So that is how we got here, you guys. I've never had an experience like this where I absolutely love the results of the service that I got. Minus this crooked ass middle part, because you guys tell me, does this look like a middle part or does this look like a forward slash? The part is not straight. At that price point, you think you'd be able to get a straight part. Nope. There's a couple of places where my hair is lumpy because of the way that she braided it. But overall, I like it. She will never see me again though. And this is what is so incredibly frustrating. You spend your hard-earned money on a luxury beauty service or any type of beauty service just for the stylist to absolutely disrespect you and play in your face. So with all of that context, that is the reason why I'm not going to share where I got this hair. I'm not going to share who did it because she does not deserve your business. She didn't deserve my business. And I'm not going to send any promotion or publicity her way. And if you are in the Las Vegas area and you're wondering if this is someone that you have booked with, you can DM me and ask me, hey, is the stylist this person? If it is, I will let you know so that you can avoid booking with her. I'm not here for drama, but she did me dirty. She did. And that's the end.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Of course, y'all know we staying lit. Big dog. All right, listen. I wouldn't have tipped her either. Okay, we're you know, you get a tip for good service. You don't get a tip for being late. You don't get a tip for charging me extra. You don't get a tip because you were late and you had to take something off. No, you get a tip for doing excellent. Like if a person is willing to pay $1,000 for your services, that's including the hair, the price of the service and the transaction fee. If somebody's willing to pay that much, you know, they can afford to tip. But it's also the service that you provide to that customer that is also very important. And I think a lot of these service providers overlook that. It's not even that they overlook it. They just know, but they expect for you to tip them. Even when I get my beard done, my beard costs me $15 from my bro. It cost me $15 to get trimmed up. That's crazy because this one place was charging me $30. I didn't pay $30. I was like, yeah, let me come back. I'm finna go to the ATM. Never coming back. Went to my bro. He charged me $15. I gave him $20. There's nothing to discuss. Fresh and clean. Thing is, I don't like getting my beard trimmed up because they always cut it short. So I'm just not going to get it trimmed. They think when I say trim, they want to cut it. Like, I didn't say trim. I just like get the scragglers, not try to shape it up and make it look good. Just, you know, I don't care how it look, really, honestly. But I just think like, man, her hair does look good. Her hair does look good. So shout out to Explore with Abby. Very good storyteller. It was a lot. She told every part of it, and she did it faster than the JCPenney hair stylist. Like, Jesus Christ. I even had to cut out part 4 because I didn't think we was ever going to get through with it.
I never thought I'd be sat here making a part 2 to a video that was never even supposed to exist. The truth of the matter is, had the hairstylist sent the content of me that she took, you guys wouldn't have gotten that story time. It would have been a vlog, but I would not have gone into explicit detail the way that I did in that video had she just stuck to her word and did the only decent thing, which is send me the content so that I could also make use of it. But because she chose to be petty, it forced me to go ahead and speak on the situation, and that is how we got to where we are right now. Now, the goal of that video was never to be messy, and that's the reason why I did not include her name. I did not want to give her any attention. I didn't want to give her any promotion. I did not want to send people her way because this is the internet, and regardless of what I say about my experience, there are going to be people who will still book with her. There are going to be people who buy her bundles and her hair and her products, and I can't control that. That's not even my goal. I honestly don't care if people do that. However, I do feel a certain responsibility now that there has been a lot of attention on that video to at least follow up and speak on the many, and by many I mean dozens of women that have DM'd me to share their experiences with this stylist. Now, I will say this, there are a plethora of comments on that video. Most of them are supportive, and I appreciate you guys so much for hearing hearing me and empathizing with me and really just validating my feelings in that video. And I know that there are a lot of questions, and I could sit here and dissect every little thing. I could talk about the processing fees. I could talk about the schmittle part that she gave me and really make it about something else. But the purpose of this video is really just bringing awareness so that any women in the future who are planning on booking with her know what they are going to get themselves into. I know that a lot of you have gone over to her page and are commenting and you want her to give a response. I get it. I understand that this is entertaining, but at the end of the day, I just want to let you guys know that I do not want the content anymore. I'm totally fine. As long as she does not post the content, then I am okay with not having it. A lot of you have asked me, has she reached out? Has she seen the video? The answer is no, she has not reached out. Has she seen the content? Well, originally I didn't know. She says that she's bigger on Instagram than she is on TikTok. She doesn't really use TikTok a lot. So I'm thinking, well, maybe she just hasn't seen it. Maybe she just hasn't been on here. Well, she definitely has. She has posted somebody else after my video had been posted. So I know that she's been on TikTok. And a little bit of tea, I was scrolling through my activities and I saw that there was someone who liked a comment. Who is that someone, you might be asking? The hairstylist. And you want to know which comment that she liked? Somebody asking me, hey, has she sent you the content? And I said, nope. And she liked it. So glad to know that she's very, very mature and taking this all seriously. We don't have time to sit here and go through the dozens of messages that I've gotten. So I'm just going to share with you one of them. She says, I booked and I agree 100% the quality of the work is good, but her service is not worth the price. I booked a little over a month in advance in February and bought the hair. I selected pickup and drove all the way to the pickup location provided. Wasn't ready for pickup until March, 2 weeks ahead. A 45-minute drive just for her to not respond. Then when she did, I was waiting at the post office, the address she gave me, for 1 hour, and then she finally gave me the address for her home to come and pick up the bundles. She was confused why, but I told her that my hair is dyed, let's call it jet black, and I wanted to dye the bundles to test to see if the hair quality was good, because I bought some horrible bundles out here and it was my first sew-in, so I wanted to match it to my hair. Bundles are definitely tea. I finally get the bundles and drive back home. Everything's fine. The day of my appointment, I got the same hey love text and got my appointment pushed back 2 hours as well. I did end up getting the wash. I honestly could have done better myself. And then the rat tail comb, I had to ask her, did she have a bigger comb because my hair is already thick, colored, and fragile with a bit of heat damage. And I brought my own oil, K18, and asked for heat protection because I know so many forget these simple steps. I'm not gonna lie, I really do love my hair. I have it in now and get so many compliments, but I don't know if I would ever want to go back to her just because her quality of service doesn't give 10+ year cosmetologist, which we're booking for. And if she does end up responding, I wouldn't want my name shown and the story broken up. Just because I do own a business out here, that's the main reason I didn't make my own story time. And so I tell her, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that. Do you mind if I share your story? I'll keep you anonymous. She says yes. And then she says, and she burnt me as well with the hot comb. I said, oh my gosh, she is a serial offender. She does this to multiple women. In my heart of hearts, I really wanted to believe that my experience was just a one-off. You know, maybe she was having a bad day. Maybe it was just like a series of bad circumstances, series of unfortunate events. But the fact that this girl has such a similar experience to what I had lets me know that she does this regularly. Okay, this is her standard. It wasn't a one-off. No, this is literally how she operates her business. At the end of the day, this is so unacceptable. This is not the way that you should be doing business and treating people who are spending their money to come and see you and to feel relaxed and to feel beautiful. So if you choose to spend your money with this hairstylist, proceed with caution. It made me sick to my stomach to see women who said that, oh, I was going to book her for my birthday. I was going to book her for my wedding. To have someone be that unreliable and that inconsistent is very, very scary, especially at the price point that she is providing her services. Not to mention that luxury is not just a price point. Luxury is an experience. It's a curation of not only your skill, not only your passion, not only the ambiance of the place that you're in, but it's a combination of all of those things put together with the experience of your client in mind. It's not just about looks and aesthetics, okay? Bring back beauticians, bring back cosmetologists. All of these stylists, Instagram stylists, TikTok stylists are ruining it for everyone. Not only are they making it scary as a client to book with somebody new, but then you're feeling like the person that is working on your head doesn't even want to be there. Treat your clients with dignity and respect, and I promise you your business will thrive. The girls yearn for a hairdresser who is consistent and reliable, who actually wants to be there and can make them feel beautiful. And if you can do that, you will be booked out. So with that being said, let's help each other out and put the best hairstylist you know in the comments. Let us know what city they're located in. If you have a picture, even better. And let's make sure that we are supporting the stylists who are actually taking care of their clients, taking care of the health of the hair of their clients, who are punctual, who provide good ambiance, who do a good job, and overall just keep our hard-earned money circulating with the people who do good business. And if you're new here, I hope you stick around. I promise you it's normally much more positive and fun and girly pop over here. We just had a little bit of a sidetrack, but we're gonna go back to regularly scheduled programming.
All right, I'm gonna add this in also because so if you know if you providing a good service, if you are charging a premium price, yes, I get it. Premium price, luxury. These people pay for that good stuff. It's people that pay. It's women that pay for this stuff. Now, there are, you do have levels to this though, you know, because if you're not charging that much, you gonna have a certain clientele base, and if you have that clientele base, you may come with some issues. That's why you don't have them come to your house, because then you might have to fight them. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be having to fight nobody, you know, at your house. So again, I think a lot of these women or these stylists, male or female, I think a lot of them have um they want to be influencers, but not only that, the clients want to be influencers, or the clients are so willing to expose something that it's put a lot of people in a tough situation, to where, you know, now clients don't even want you to record or be on your phone while they're doing your hair. Even when it comes to where she said, I want you to do my hair. I mean, I'll come camera ready. Well, I don't know if I want to come camera ready. I don't know if I want to come camera ready. Why should I come camera ready? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be on your social media. You know, I mean, am I going to receive like 5% off or something like that? $50 off? Like, am I going to receive anything? I mean, I'm not trying to receive. You don't have to pay me, but like, take something off. Like, you gonna use me for content. Use me for content to put me on your page. Like, for what? Like, or just don't put me on there. Or you have you sign a waiver. Do you want me to be on your content? Because then if you sign a waiver, you can do it for free. You don't really have to do it. Just be like, hey, if you don't mind, if you want to sign this waiver, you do it on the booking site. If you want to sign this waiver, that I can use your likeness for content or something, and you can sign the waiver, and that will let people know. And that'll give them the option, not even to take anything off, because people, if you do me good, whatever, but you gotta be good with them. You know what I'm saying? But if they allow you to, but see, then that's the trick. That's the trick. If they allow you to do content on them, you might treat them better. But then if you don't allow them to do content, are you still going to give them the same service? Think about that. But everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this crazy situation.